I want to impress upon you that the more you know, the more you're going to grow, which means the more you know about the marketplace, the more you know about real estate, the more you know about business and entrepreneurship, systems and time management, the more successful you're going to be. Most real estate investors, even including successful real estate investors, do not understand market cycles, do not understand actually what's happening on the real estate world. They never actually slow down to look at it. They're just like, well, if I send out postcards and people sell their house to me at a discount, I can sell it more. They don't know why the market's slowing, why markets adjust. And I want to go over something here real quick because this is so important to understand what's going on. Why the market slowed in a lot of areas and why people are not going to that move up home or that jump up home, which is their permanent residence. And let me explain this here real quick. So when we go to school, we're told our whole life that we need to get educated, go to school, go to college, get a job for a corporate company, work, basically our entire life for that company, have a family, 2.5 kids, a dog, and a white picket fence, right? This is the traditional path of the average American. Let's take a look at the average family. This is a young family. These individuals just graduated college and they may be pregnant and just had their first child, or they may be thinking about having their first child, and they get what's called a starter home. This is a low price home that is not flashy, it is affordable, right? This is not what they want as their main home to show to their family and their friends that they're successful. This is not a permanent residence, this is a jump over home that they have only for that permanent, or only for that point in life, just to kind of get them to their next home, I guess you could say. It's a holdover home. They want this home right here. Now, this is important to understand. Guys, number one, incomes are roughly the same. Over the past 5 years, incomes have not gone up that much. In fact, some markets' incomes have gone down. So it just depends, depending on micro, macro, and what you're really looking at, which industries. But most of the industries, guys, if you were making 50, 60 grand a year 4 or 5 years ago, you're probably still making 50, 60 grand a year. So what that means is this family, when they're in this home, say 3 to 5 years ago, this house would sell for $300,000. So they're looking at houses at a 300K price point. And they're big and they're awesome. They got game rooms, giant showers, huge closets, and they're super excited. They're like, okay, we're gonna get this house in 3 to 5 years, and how we're gonna get it is we're gonna start saving each month to save up for our down payment. So they calculate how much they're making, and they're putting and siphoning money away into their future down payment for this move up home. This is the house they're gonna move up to and raise their family in. They may have another kid or a few other kids, and this is where they're gonna basically lock down and put their roots for life. This is what most people do. So they're saving each month, every month or every year, X amount of dollars. Problem is, by the time they get to this house 3 to 5 years in the future, which is the present moment when they're ready to buy the house, they start looking around, and we've seen such massive appreciation over the past 5 years, guys, that this house over those 3 to 5 years has gone up so much in value that it's now 400 plus, and they can't buy it because they don't have enough money. They didn't save up enough. So they're looking at today's houses, and they're starting to see that the house that they can get is much lesser. It's still nicer than this house, but this house is definitely not as nice as this house. They're gonna have to get a little bit smaller house, a little bit lesser house. That big closet's just a semi-big closet, no more game room, just a kind of a tiny little bonus room in the corner. So they're getting frustrated, right? They've had this vision in their mind of what they wanted over the past few years, and now that they're in the future and they did what they planned to do on their side, they had self-responsibility and saved the amount of money they needed, but this house is now way up here at this price point, and this house has replaced this price point. Does that make sense, guys? So they're seeing that they're now gonna get a lesser house. Double whammy, this is where the second kicker kicks in. Interest rates have gone up too. So even if they could get a similar house, interest rates have gone up multiple times in the past little bit. So which means that they're gonna have to pay more even if they could get the same house anyways, which they can't now. So they're gonna pay more for a smaller house and have a higher interest rate on that smaller house. Do you think that's gonna frustrate you, right? You've been planning to get something for years and years, and you've done everything you're supposed to, and you saved the amount of money, and then you get there, and the house that you thought you were gonna get is much lesser and it's much more expensive. Now, here's the third thing. Panic in the market, right? As it gets out on the news and more news stations start saying the real estate market's slowing down, they're looking at a lesser house, paying more for it, and what? Now the fear is, oh great, I'm gonna move up into this big expensive house, and the value is going to drop over the next few years. This has caused panic, and what this has done, this combination of all these things coming from different angles and hitting these homeowners, you remember these individuals are just normal people in the community. They're not professional real estate investors, or real estate agents, or real estate entrepreneurs. They don't understand the business. They're just saying what is going on, and then they hear the panic in the marketplace that the market's slowing, so they stay put. They hunker down, they say, let's ride it out, we'll get a house later, let's wait for price values to come back down so we get a nicer house. This house that we didn't want to be in doesn't seem so bad now, does it? So this is what's really going on. So let's say in your city, if this is 2, 3, 5, 10,000 people that are not making that move up or going up to that next level of home, that's a lot of transactions that real estate agents and real estate investors are not doing, which is causing a slowdown in the market, right? So I hope you kind of understand what's going on. Interest rates have gone up, price values have gone up. They're pricing people out of the home that they thought they were saving up to buy, or that they thought they're saving to buy here in a few years, and now they can't get it, or they're gonna have to settle with a lesser house. Instead of going with that lesser house, they're waiting for a future time where they can afford this house, or when interest rates come back down, or when price values come back down, and they'll buy a house in a few years, kind of when the market slows down. So that's really what's going on, guys. I hope you liked today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Like and share this video around, please. Have a good day.